Hey, what's up guys? C here from USP's Wrestling, and welcome to my first video after returning. I put up a video earlier today, or today when recording, yesterday, or a couple days ago when this came out, talking about, like, what I've been up to and giving a brief overview of what's going to happen on the channel. So I'd very much recommend, after watching this, to click on that, please. Now, the first video I decided to make was a review on Summerslam, which happened like 20 minutes ago. It just ended, so this is very much fresh thoughts and my honest review. And remember, this is my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. I have no issue with that. In fact, comment why in a polite manner, if you wouldn't mind. But you know, it's YouTube, so could be you basically just call me a fucking idiot. That's fine. I accept it. But this is my opinion, which, like, even something like Dave Meltzer, it's still his opinion. You can disagree with it all you want. He just has more of a base, I guess, to kind of share that opinion, and like people take it as facts. But some matches I don't agree with, some matches I do. You know, it's all opinion based, so no need to take it that seriously what one specific person on the internet thinks about wrestling. Now, on to SummerSlam. So I did not watch the pre-show. I am not entirely sure what matches, if any, took place. So we're gonna skip right past that and go right into the main show, which was opened by Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, which I think was a very good opener. The outside KOD looked absolutely killer, and they sold it very well with Becky just barely making it back into the ring, as well as the manhandle slam after the hair pull from Becky, and the finishing top rope Spanish fly into a KOD looked very good and was a very convincing finish. I would rate the match probably out of 5. I'm going to rate it 3.5. 3.5, sure. Haven't done this format in like 4 years, can you tell? But the main part, the match itself was very good, but the main part came after the match. Becky shook Bianca's hand, and then we had Bayley return for the first time in over a year. For the first time in front of fans. Since, well, over a year again. I was going to say first time she's wrestled, but she didn't wrestle in it, obviously. But if she does soon, that will be the first time since COVID that she would wrestle in front of fans. But, she came out and then introduced Dakota freaking Kai, who was rehired apparently, and Io Shirai, now going by Io Sky, and formed a faction of sorts, having a standoff with Bianca, who was joined by Becky. So Becky seems to have been turned face here, and this has Triple H booking all over it, and I am so happy about it. This is his first time. This is like his first big show since he became head of creative last week. So the fact that he brought Dakota back and brought Io up from NXT finally is very, very nice. Very good opening segment / match. And then up next we got Logan Paul. Oh boy, this guy. Versus The Miz. Now, I really don't care for Logan Paul. I especially didn't a few years ago when he, did what he did. Everyone knows about it. And if you don't, you can look it up if you want. But over the last few years, Logan seems to have gotten most of his credibility back and has kind of redeemed himself for his past actions. And also in the ring, he's fucking awesome. For someone who has only worked 2 matches, he is very good. Ciampa tried to get involved, but was ejected. But he decided not to go anywhere, so he took a seat until AJ Styles came up and hit him with a phenomenal forearm, and it was revealed that he was training Paul. As right after Logan Paul hit a phenomenal forearm on The Miz, or as Corey Graves put it, a pretty good forearm. Commentary was on fire tonight. We had many good calls, especially in the main event. I'll get to those a little bit later, when obviously I cover it. And the crowd as well was very loud throughout the whole event, which makes sense. It was a big stadium with, I think, 40-something thousand. Miz almost hit Maurice with a Polaroid that he made of skull-crushing finaleing Paul at Mania. He almost hit Maurice with it. Paul took advantage and hit him with the skull-crushing finale for the 1-2-3. And took the win. Personally, this match I'm going to rate just slightly above Bianca Becky. Because it had a frog splash to the announce table from Logan Paul. I don't think anyone expected that. So this match is going to get a 3.75 out of 5 here. Very close to a 4-star, but not quite there. In between, we had 2 short segments about Brock and Roman, leading to the main event, and what I can only call an ad about a water brand from the Maximum Male Models stable. I don't get that, but here we are. Next matchup was Theory versus Lashley. Theory attacked it with the briefcase before the bell, and then Bobby started murdering him for a while. Theory basically didn't get much offense out and eventually tapped to the Hurt Lock. Now, this match was fairly quick and didn't really feel competitive in any way. It just kind of felt like Lashley was kind of getting a free win because I guess he needed it. Okay, completely honest, this is the first. I have kind of watched over it on Twitter, so I get a general idea of most like major things. But this is the first WWE show I've watched since Mania. So I haven't watched it in 4 months. So it's definitely kind of just... I'm not entirely sure, like, the Theory Lashley whole thing, or like how Lashley's been booked. But I know this looked like he just needed a win, so they gave it to him. So I'm going to rate this about 2.5 out of 5. Not great, but not awful. Next up was the Judgment Day versus the Mysterios. So we had early domination from the Mysterios before the Judgment Day actually made it competitive. Ray had a move where he took a chair and he slid on it out to the ring, out to Balor. That looked sick. Also, Rey Mysterio's in his 40s, or maybe even his 50s now, and he is still wrestling like he's in his damn 20s. He is incredible for his age. But, like... eventually, the Judgment Day takes advantage, and Finn is about to hit the Concerto onto Rey when we have the return of Edge. In the most badass looking entrance I've seen in a while. He rose up with flaming stairs, with short hair, a badass red jacket, and shades from his old Edge and Christian days from the Brood. So he came out, speared both Damian and Finn, and set up the 619 for the Mysterios, who then pinned for the victory. This match had some good moments, but was largely felt like a match to get Edge back, so I'm going to rate it just in the middle, 3 out of 5. We had a promo for Kevin Owens showing his main roster highlights, which was nice, and it gives a nice peek into kind of underutilized talent, in my opinion. Sure, he's on TV all the time, but he's not in like the title picture much, so, you know. Next up was Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. I will say, before I go into the match much, Corbin doesn't really do it for me much. He, since they took out his lone wolf persona, I haven't liked him much. His time as Constable Corbin, or whatever, the Happy Corbin now, it's just kind of annoying. I just don't care for it. That being said, I have liked this feud with McAfee quite a bit. Because I actually do like McAfee a lot. He's very excitable. He's fun. He has gotten the best work out of Michael Cole in like 25 years since Michael Cole started. McAfee hit an early Hurricane Rana. Corbin hit a deep six to counter for. There's a fucking moth or something in here. That's awesome. For a close 2 count. Corbin dove into the post and smashed his fucking shoulder, but he also got back up. McAfee did 2 of the backflips off the top rope that he showed off at Mania that he could do. He jumped up to the top turnbuckle and his patented superplex. And eventually, the referee went down. And like a pure babyface, McAfee kicked Corbin straight in the fucking nuts. And then pinned him for the win. This match is it's good. It's definitely got a lot of good moments, especially coming from McAfee, who is a relative newbie. So he only wrestles every like couple months. So I gotta put a lot of respect out that he's able to do stuff like this. At the rate he's able to do. Next, Drew came out and said a promo about his #1 contendership and like the main event, which was coming up, and even poked fun at it not being the first time ever, or the second time ever, or the third. He said it was the first time ever in Nashville in a falls count anywhere. Oh no, that's not what it is. Last man standing. That's what it is. He went to a young audience member whose name was Colt, and he said in front of Colt, and we had a big Colt chant going around the arena, and that was cool. That was very cool. Drew can actually cut a very good promo as a face. As far as I know, they don't give him the mic that much, which is a shame. Next matchup was the Usos versus the Street Profits, with Jeff Jarrett as a special referee. As much as I didn't really see the point of him being the special referee in this match, he did a good job. Like, I think the point was, I believe at Money in the Bank, when Montez was pinned, his shoulder was up the entire time, and the ref didn't see it, so they put Jeff Jarrett in. Sure. And Jeff did a good job. He had no issues. Both teams even argued with him for some reason. And after the Usos hit a double super kick on both and threw Montez over the barricade, they pinned Dawkins to retain the title. Very solid, but I don't think it ever really went past like the second gear that these teams are both very capable of. I don't know if it wasn't given enough time or what. Like, there were some good moments. Montez doing his usual super high flying stuff that he's good at, and the Usos being the Usos. Dawkins had his moments as well. Like, everyone did good, but it feels like these two teams are capable of better. So I'm gonna rate it around 3 out of 5. They had a promo for Charlotte, and this was her only appearance on the entire show. Same with Kevin Owens. Neither of which appeared on the entire show, and that's kind of weird, especially for Charlotte, because she was in town, and probably so was Kevin. After the promo about Charlotte Flair, Riddle entered from the crowd and called out Seth Rollins with his shoulder injury, which I've heard conflicting reports whether that's true or not. I guess I'll take it as is, because why not? Rollins came down, followed by a bunch of WWE officials, and the two brawled for a bit until Rollins hit the stomp, and Riddle sold the ever-loving fuck out of it. Treated it, and so did like all the officials. They treated it like he was shot. And it was a very good, like, quick moment. Seth was taunting the audience, taunting Riddle afterwards. It was good. Next matchup was Liv Morgan taking on Ronda Rousey. And this was not great. Rousey kept going for an armbar, but Liv kept reaching the ropes. The referee, to be fair, Liv sold the armbar very well every time. She was in the corner. The referee asked if she wanted the match stopped because she was holding her arm like it was like broken, which she said no. Another armbar got put in, but Liv pinned her while she was holding it, which got the 3 count. However, apparently, Liv tapped when Rousey had her submitted right before the 3 count. So technically Ronda won. But the match was given to Liv, which feels very pointless, but sure. Ronda attacked Liv again, the referee, and put him into an armbar before leaving very angry and not at all pleased while Liv took her belt and kind of walked off. That match felt very dominant on the part of Ronda and didn't really give Liv much to do. Kind of just sold and had a not great ending of Liv kind of looking weak and lucky. And that's about it. Like, not great. 2 out of 5. Next, Kane came out because he's the mayor of Knoxville County, and they're in Nashville, so they're in the same state. He came out and said the attendance, which was 48,000, which is quite a number of people. And it explains why the crowd felt so loud, because they were in a whole stadium with 50,000 fucking people. Our final match of the night was Roman Brock in a last man standing match. Brock came in on a motherfucking tractor, announced himself as a big ass country boy, and then as they were introducing Roman, he jumped off the tractor like loader onto Roman and started going ham. We had lots of suplexes, they threw him into the steps, he threw him over the barricade, they fought in the crowd for a little bit. Multiple suplexes, multiple F5s, several spears, multiple Superman punches. But like the main thing, they used tables as well, but the main thing is the tractor. First, he put Roman in the loader and dropped him into the ring. That only got like an 8 count. Then, he took the tractor, rammed it into the ring, and tipped it over. Not completely, but enough that Roman was holding onto the ropes. He slipped and slid off, and it was amazing. That was very good. That's a very gifable image, Twitter. I'm sure there's plenty of people who have it. Which was just another 9 count. So not quite. The Usos interfered and Brock laid them both out. Then Paul Heyman got in Brock's face. That was a mistake. He lifted Paul Heyman and put him through a table. Through the announce table, too. I don't think anyone expected Paul to get physical ever again for something like that. Which was just insane. Theory came out to try to cash in. Hit Reigns with the briefcase, and then ate an F5, so he didn't quite cash in. Roman hit Brock with multiple spears. He kept getting up at 9. After yet another spear and getting up at 9, Reigns just went completely nuts. Took the briefcase, hit Theory with it one more time for good measure, because fuck it, why not? And then just went ham on Lesnar. Hit him multiple times, over and over with the briefcase. Again, got up at 9. Took the title belt. Hit him with that. while the Usos super kicked him. Another 9 count. While Cole is just selling Brock super well on commentary, saying like, this guy isn't human. He's made of something else. Like, constantly yelling at the like, he is in top volume too. Like, he's yelling this shit, telling the referee to hurry up in the count, just to like, and telling like, saying like, Brock, it's just not worth it, as he just keeps getting up at 9. Finally, Leinster got hit once again with the title for like the third or fourth time, and the Usos buried him in rubble as Reigns stands on top to retain. That was fucking awesome. Best match of the night, 100%. 4 out of 5. Not a perfect match, and also it's just kind of a mostly weapons-based match, so those can only get rated as high as they do. But in my opinion, that was absolutely fucking match of the night, which leads me to match of the night and worst match of the night. So match of the night is the main event. Just the entire thing is fucking amazing. Like, it is almost worth the pay-per-view by itself. If you haven't watched SummerSlam when I upload this, if you haven't seen it, if you want to see like one match from it, go watch the main event. It's so good. For the worst match, I'm gonna go the match right beforehand, Liv versus Ronda, cause it just didn't. They didn't. Okay. So they had several options here. They could have not had it be Liv Ronda, have someone else challenge Liv, and then they could have had a more competitive match, or B, they could have just have Liv pin her and not tap, and just have her at least win completely, and then still have Ronda do her freak out. They didn't need her to like technically win for that to happen at all. It just felt like they were just making Liv feel weaker. But like, I don't know. I don't like that they have their champion look like she got completely lucky and just like basically got a free win when she didn't deserve it. Especially one as beloved as Liv Morgan right now. Like, I feel like they could have given her either a better opponent or a better finish. The whole show, I would give a solid, probably like 3.25 out of 5. I think it deserves that much. It had plenty of highlights across the entire show. The Liv match was probably the only one I didn't really like. Every other match I felt like was good, at least had some good moments. Bianca, when she won, looked so happy as well. I really enjoyed that visual. She looked so happy to win. Like, she was absolutely just bouncing. But that's besides the point. Personally, I'd give the whole show about 3.25. It was a good show. It's definitely worth watching. The main event especially, very, very, very good. I think that's it for what I have to say about SummerSlam this year. It will definitely keep me kind of watching the Triple H new era, I guess you want to say. Because if this show was very good, then it gives me hope that other shows will be very good. And if WWE gets really good, then that's good for the whole business. Because that means there's not just like 1 or 2 shows that don't suck. Or that aren't. It means like the biggest brand in the whole business isn't bad anymore. And they might keep their viewership a little bit. That would be nice. But that's it from me, I'm gonna say. Very good show. Amazing main event. Definitely gonna keep my eye on WWE for a while now. See how the rest of the year goes for them. And that is it for this video on my review on SummerSlam. I'll have another video up in a couple days, as per fairly normal. We'll have that kind of schedule. It won't be the same as USBC Gaming, but it'll be a bit more spotty. Not as constant uploads because there's a little bit less to do. and it's just me. I don't have like, I'm not with B like I am on gaming, where we can just bang out like 10 recording sessions in a row. This is just kind of whatever I feel like talking or doing at any specific time, or like this where it's a big show. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to USBC Gaming and USBC Wrestling. I did it again, just like I did last video. Anyways, like I said, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.